Lambda, Omicron Chapter, actually owned the Alpha House, and there were brothers, who of course were much older than I, like Brother Mal Good, who was in media. He ended up becoming ABC's correspondent. And Reverend Dr. Leroy Patrick, who was a Presbyterian minister, who back when I was in, I guess my senior year in high school, first year of college, Reverend Patrick was kind of the Martin Luther King Jr. of Pittsburgh. And Reverend Patrick, in order to fight the Atlantic A&P, Atlantic Pacific Tea Company, they weren't hiring blacks. And so they told Reverend Patrick, well, they couldn't find anybody that could pass their tests. So Reverend Patrick got me and a handful of other young blacks to go down and take their stupid tests. And so in my I guess through my freshman year in college, for about 3.5 years in college, I was working as a cashier for A&P. Back that time, they didn't have much, so you had to key in on the terminal. So I actually ended up making more as a student, working 20 some hours, and then a whole lot of black men who were supporting families. And I'll never forget, in my freshman year, I got a job also as a busboy down at Kaufman's department store. I was able to get one of the other brothers, Brother Leon Haley. Leon and I looked at each other that last day before it was time to go back to school. But I remember there was a black man who was working as a busboy at Kaufman's restaurant, where we had just spent the summer. He was actually supporting his family. His daughter went to Carnegie Tech, as I recall.
Really?
Yeah, he had at least, I think he had at least a couple of years of college, but that was the best he could get, working as a busboy.
Yeah. Whether you think of how much of our society has suffered because of the underemployment of blacks and other folks in over time. Right. How many geniuses have been overlooked, and perhaps how many diseases might have been cured were it not for people not having opportunities.
Yeah, right. That's why it's important for the brothers in the chapter to understand that they were standing on the shoulders, not just of the jewels. By the way, let me tell you about one other situation. If you did a Google search on, his name was, in the early days of the Civil War, down in Charleston, South Carolina, there was a black man who was a slave, but he was employed as the on a Confederate ship, as the pilot on a Confederate ship. But he was so sharp that he learned all the going in and out of how to go in and out of the Charleston Harbor and all. And one night, the white officers had gone into town and they were drinking. So he organized the other black men on the ship, this large Confederate transport ship, and he took over the ship, sailed it down to another wharf, picked up the other black men's families. And they then proceeded to sail out of Charleston Harbor. Well, he had learned all the codes and all to
Sure.
get past the Confederate batteries and all. So he sailed out into Charleston Harbor where there was a line of Union ships. And fortunately, before he raised a white flag. So the Union sailors saw the white flag, so they didn't fire on this Confederate ship coming towards them.
Mm-hmm.
And so he became a national hero. His name was Robert Smalls.
Okay.
I understand that if you do a Google search on Smalls, well, the Alpha connection is in 1913. Well, let me tell you this first. He became such a national hero in America that you can find about him on a Google search. And during the Civil War, there was an assumption that the Confederacy was going to attack Pittsburgh because it was a center for manufacturing and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So the black citizens in Pittsburgh built a fort up on the hills above the Monongahela River and named it after Smalls. Well, in 1913, his son was a student at the University of Pittsburgh, and he was one of the charter members of Omicron Chapter. And the Alpha History book says that he became the vice president of the Omicron Chapter at the University of Pittsburgh. So I'm telling you all this to say, in all of this, we're all standing on the shoulders of other people, and it would be good if somehow we could get this in so the brothers understand. Even in their, I could tell you about stuff in my family, and all of us are standing on the shoulders of people who have come before us and have done unbelievable accomplishments. Yeah,
absolutely. No, you're so right, and that's part of the reason for this project is that I knew that there was so much that I didn't know as a new member of Kappa Phi Lambda that I wanted to know, and I'm fortunate enough to have heard a lot of stories from my father-in-law, but I know there are other senior brothers in the chapter that have life histories and stories as well, and so this is all part of it. So this is really great information.
Okay, well, thank you for doing this.
Oh, my pleasure. And thank you for doing it. And thank you for all you've done. And I'm absolutely realize I'm standing on your shoulders and the shoulders of many others who've come before me.
Yeah, we all.
Yes. All right. Well, Brother Jennings, thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.